The room was cold, quiet, and full of strange smells. Cole Martin walked through the hallway, his boots clicking on the steel floor. He was a mechanic, not a soldier, but today he was sent to inspect someone in the middle of the lab. Under a thick glass dome sat a strange alien woman. She had silver skin, glowing eyes, and no legs, just a soft, empty space where limbs should have been, covered by medical wrappings. The sign on the cage read, Specimen 8B, not suitable for breeding or combat, dispose after evaluation. Cole stared, confused and curious. The alien girl didn't look dangerous. She didn't move, didn't speak, but her golden eyes, watched him. Quietly, patiently. She's broken, said a voice behind him. It was Dr. Veeler, the head xenobiologist. That species can bond through mental contact, but she failed the psychic tests. And obviously, no legs, no use. Cole didn't answer. He kept looking at her. May I go inside? Cole asked, surprising even himself. The doctor laughed. If you want to waste your time, go ahead. Just don't touch her, the airlock hissed. And Cole stepped into the cage. He moved slowly, hands open, no weapons. The alien girl didn't flinch. Instead, she tilted her head and blinked slowly. Cole knelt down beside her. Hey, he said softly, can you understand me? Silence. He pointed to himself. Cole, to his shock, she whispered something. A soft voice, like wind through glass. Cole, she repeated. His eyes widened so she could speak. You're smarter than they think, he said. The girl's lips twitched almost. A smile he returned every day, at first, just short visits. Pretending to check systems near her cage, then longer stays. Bringing small tools and broken devices to fix beside her, she watched everything. She started learning his language, slowly. Carefully, one day, she said, "Why ... me in box." Cole's heart broke. He didn't know what to say. They think. You're broken, he replied. They think you can't do anything. So they want to get rid of you. The alien girl looked down at her missing legs. She was quiet for a long time. Then she said something that would stay with Cole forever. Not broken. Just waiting. The next day, Cole made a decision. He couldn't leave her there. That night, during a power maintenance cycle, he sneaked into the lab. He disabled the cameras for 10 minutes. He opened the dome and carried her out, gently. Like a child, she held onto him tightly, not with fear, but trust. No alarms went off. No one stopped him. By the time anyone noticed, he was already deep in the lower levels of the station. Cole had a hidden workshop there, used for repairing old drones. Now it was her new home. He placed her on a padded table, gave her water, food, and a blanket. My name, she said slowly. Sira. He smiled. Nice to meet you. Sira. Days turned into weeks. Cole built her a chair first, then a support frame. He used scrap parts from military walkers, old androids, even cleaning bots. He measured her carefully, checking her muscles, her nerves, her reactions. It wasn't easy. He worked all night, barely slept, but finally he built something special. To sleek metal legs. Not perfect, but strong, fast, and designed for her body. Sira, he said one morning, lifting her gently. Let's see if you're ready to walk. She looked nervous. Her hands shook as he attached the legs, but when she stood, the entire workshop fell silent. She took one step, then another, wobbly, slow, unsure. Then stronger, she cried, not from pain, from freedom. Cole had never seen anything so beautiful. She walked into his arms and whispered, now, not broken. But as they hugged, a small light blinked in the corner. A tracker had been activated. They were not alone anymore. Sira stood on her new legs, trembling. Each movement was a careful test. Cole stayed close, watching her every step. The mechanical legs hissed and clicked, perfectly synced with her nervous system. Her balance was rough at first, but her mind sharp as ever adapted quickly. She raised her head, taller than before. She wasn't crawling anymore. She wasn't trapped in a cage I can feel, she whispered. Cole blinked. Surprised. You feel the legs? He asked. Not like real, she said, touching the metal joints, but real enough. They practiced every day. Sierra learned to walk in circles, then across the room. She stumbled sometimes, but never gave up. Cole cheered every small success. He made her a walking suit, soft armor with balance enhancers. She loved the dark blue color. She started laughing, really laughing, for the first time. This is freedom, she asked one night, looking at her reflection. It's a start, Cole replied, smiling, but trouble was growing. A tracking beacon had blinked the day Cole freed her. He checked the security systems and found a coded ping sent to EarthCorp HQ. Someone, or something, knew Sarah was missing. Cole locked down the workshop. He scrambled the signals, changed the AI protocols, and erased old logs. But it was only a matter of time before someone followed the signal. We can't stay here forever, he told her. Sierra nodded, her golden eyes serious. Then we fly, she said. You can fly a ship, a bee asked. She gave a sly smile. Not yet, but I can learn. Together they planned an escape. Cole knew of an old freighter hidden deep in the junk fields of Moonbase Delta Broken. Abandoned, but still restorable. It had once been used by smugglers. Now it was forgotten beneath layers of trash and time. He loaded gear, parts, tools, and food into a hover cart. Sierra walked beside him, her steps more confident with each day. Sometimes she even ran laughing like a child, discovering a new world. One night, while they repaired the freighter, Sierra paused and looked up at the stars. Why? Did you help me? She asked softly. Cole didn't answer right away. He leaned against the metal hull and thought. Because when I looked into your eyes in that cage, I saw someone who didn't deserve to be locked away. He said finally, you were strong, even without legs, even when they called you useless. She touched his hand gently. I thought no one would see me again, she whispered. I did, Cole said, his voice low, and I always will. There was silence, warm and full of meaning. The kind of silence that says everything words cannot. But danger was close. A stealth drone passed. Near the outer rings of the junk field, it scanned the area, searching for stolen property. Sierra spotted it through a broken hull window. Drone, she said sharply. Cole jumped into action. They shut down all lights, all power, and went silent. The drone hovered for a minute, then turned away. Too close, too lucky. We need to launch soon, Cole said. The engines aren't ready, Sierra reminded him. Then we finish them tonight. They worked until their hands hurt. Until their fingers bled, they welded the reactor, calibrated the thrusters, and reprogrammed the nav core. By morning, the freighter's lights flickered on, weak, but alive. This ship has no name, Sierra said. Touching the panel, Cole looked at her. Then give it one, she thought for a long time, then said. Hope it is, Cole smiled. They loaded everything into the ship as the airlock closed behind them. Sierra paused and turned back. That dark workshop had been her first real home. But she didn't belong in hiding. She belonged in the stars, with a deep hum. The freighter lifted from the trash bed. Dust and old parts flew into the air. Sierra held onto the rail, watching the junk field disappear beneath them. We're flying, she said, voice filled with wonder. Cole laughed. You're flying, he replied. I just pushed the buttons. She smiled wide, golden eyes glowing brighter than ever. But far behind them, in a hidden EarthCorp base, a red warning light blinked. Specimen 8B, located, tracking active. A machine voice said. Orders were sent, silently, ruthlessly. They weren't free yet, but for now, They had hope, and Syrah had legs. Asterisk, the stars outside the ship moved slowly as the freighter drifted into deep space. Inside, it was quiet, except for the hum of the engines and the soft beeping of navigation systems. Cole sat near the control panel, tired but alert. Syrah stood behind him, balancing perfectly on her new legs. They had escaped EarthCorp for now, but safety was still far away. "Where do we go now?" she asked. Cole looked at the map, full of unknown systems. "We head to Sector 9, he said. "There's an old colony there, unregistered, off-grid, friendly to people like us." Syrah nodded. But her eyes looked distant, full of unspoken thoughts. Later. That night, Cole found her in the cargo hold. She was staring at her reflection in a piece of polished metal. Her fingers brushed the edge of her mechanical legs, gently, like she still wasn't used to them. "You okay?" he asked. Syrah turned. Slowly. "You?" "Still don't ask," she said. "Ask what?" "My real name," she replied. Cole was surprised. "I thought it was Syrah." She shook her head. "Syrah is short version," she said. "Real name is too long. Too strange for human voice." "Try me," Cole said, smiling. She closed her eyes and spoke in her own language. The sounds were soft, full of wind and rhythm. He tried to repeat it, but failed halfway. She laughed quietly. "You can call me Syrah," she said again, more warmly this time. "Deal," Cole replied. "So, Syrah, where are you really from?" She walked slowly to a corner and sat down, her face serious. "My planet was called Eralis," she began. "It was green, quiet, full of light, but also full of silence." Cole listened closely, not interrupting. "We did not use machines like you," she explained. "We used thoughts, feelings, connections. Our people could speak through the mind, bond deeply, share memories, telepathy." Cole asked. "Yes, but more than that," she said. "We could share pain, joy, even dreams." He nodded. Slowly, but then came the ships. Her voice turned bitter. "Metal, fire, fear. They took our cities, tested us, caged us. Some fought back, some died, some hid, and you." "I was too young to fight," she said. "I was captured. Because I had no legs, they thought I was weak." Cole looked down, his jaw tight. "They were wrong," he said. Syrah glanced up, her eyes soft. "You don't see me like they do. I see someone strong, brilliant, and brave," Cole said. "You learned our language, our tools, and now you're flying a ship." She smiled, but then frowned. "You should not stay with me," she said. "They'll come for us, for me, and they'll hurt you. I already made my choice." "Syrah," he said, sitting beside her, "I'm not leaving you." The words hung between them like a promise. Suddenly, the ship's alarm beeped. "Unidentified signal detected," the AI said. Cole rushed to the console. A small light flashed near the edge of the screen. "Another ship, tailing them. How did they find us?" He muttered. Syrah walked up behind him. "Serious again?" "There may be something inside me," she said. "What do you mean?" "A tracker. Not metal, not tech biocode." Cole froze. EarthCorp had hidden something in her genetic structure. A living tracker, invisible to scanners. But always calling home. "We have to stop it," he said. "How?" Syrah asked, voice shaking. Cole took a breath. "There's a tech station in Sector 10, full of rogue scientists," he said. "They hate EarthCorp. They might help us, but it's risky." Syrah warned, "Staying still is worse." Cole replied, "They changed course immediately." The engines roared, pushing the freighter into faster than light speed. Syrah sat quietly, staring at her hands. "Do you regret saving me?" she asked. He turned to her and said, "Never." That night, as the stars blurred around them, Syrah walked into Cole's small room. She didn't speak, just stood there. He looked up, confused. Something wrong? No, she whispered. Just wanted to sit with you. He moved over, and she sat beside him. They didn't speak, but the silence between them felt full. Not empty, not awkward, just warm. Cole reached out and gently took her hand. She didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned her head on his shoulder. It was a quiet moment. But something deep shifted between them. It was more than just escape, more than survival. They were starting to become something else, something more. Not captor and rescued, not alien and human. But two souls learning to trust each other, and somewhere in the darkness of space. The ship behind them changed course, still chasing, still hunting, but Sierra and Cole were no longer running alone. The rogue tech station looked like a floating scrapyard, old satellites, broken ships, and twisted metal drifted around it like a dying cloud. Cole brought the freighter in slow, his hands tight on the controls. Sierra stood beside him, silent, watching the spinning wreckage. Are you sure they'll help? She asked. No, Cole said honestly, but they're our best chance. They docked at a small bay with blinking red lights. No one greeted them, no weapons pointed at them either, at least none they could see. The airlock hissed open, and a tall woman in armor stepped forward. Her skin was marked with glowing tattoos, and her eyes were machine-enhanced. You must be desperate to come here, she said. We are, Cole replied. She's being tracked biologically. The woman looked at Sarah, her eyes scanning quickly. No legs, she asked. Sarah raised her chin. Not anymore, she said, showing her metal limbs proudly. The woman gave a slow nod. Follow me. They walked through rusted halls and dark corridors lit by humming wires. People watched them from shadows, hackers, cyborgs, ex-soldiers, and those who didn't belong anywhere else. Finally, they entered a lab full of strange machines and floating screens. An old man with 3 robotic arms turned from his workstation. Tracker in her DNA, he asked. Yes, Cole answered. We need it gone. The man nodded slowly. Hard, but not impossible. He said, it will hurt. He warned Sarah. I can take it, she replied without blinking. The process began. Cole waited outside, pacing the floor. He heard no screams, only the sound of machines and muffled voices. 2 hours later, Sarah came out, pale and sweaty, but walking strong. It's out, she said, holding a small glass vial. Inside floated a strange, glowing particle barely visible. That was inside you? Cole asked. Since the cage, she whispered. Maybe before. They left the vial with the lab team, who promised to destroy it in return. Cole gave them engine parts and an encrypted map to a forgotten mining vault. It was a fair trade, and for once no one tried to cheat them. Back on the ship, they took off again. Heading into uncharted space, the stars stretched around them like rivers of light. Sarah leaned back in the co-pilot chair, her eyes half closed. You okay? Cole asked. She opened her eyes slowly. I feel lighter, she said, like I can finally breathe. They traveled for days through quiet systems, always moving, always alert. Sometimes they stopped to refuel or collect water from frozen moons. Sometimes they just floated in the dark and rested. One night, while fixing a loose wire near the engine core, Cole slipped. He cut his hand deep. Blood spilled fast. Sarah rushed to him, grabbing a medkit. Sit down, she ordered, pressing a bandage on the wound. He winced, but stayed calm. You're always saving me, he joked. Because you saved me first, she said softly. They looked at each other, and something unspoken passed between them. She helped him up, her touch careful but firm. He didn't want to pull away, neither did she. Later that night, they sat together near the window, watching a red star flicker in the distance. Sarah rested her head on Cole's shoulder. Your world. So different from mine, she said. And yet, here we are, he replied. She reached for his hand. He held it, warm and steady. "Do you think we can stay like this forever?" She asked. "I hope so," he said. "But the galaxy doesn't usually let people like us rest." The silence was broken by the sound of the ship's AI. "Warning. Incoming signal Earth Corps patrol in proximity." Cole jumped to his feet. Sierra stood. Up fast, her new legs adjusting to the sudden move. "They found us again." She said, "No." Cole replied, eyes on the screen. "They're scanning this whole region. They don't know we're here yet. They powered down all systems." Hid in the shadow of a nearby asteroid, time passed slowly, heartbeat by heartbeat. The Earth's Corp ship drifted by, then turned away. Sierra let out a breath she'd been holding. "That was too close," she whispered. "Yeah," Cole said. "We need somewhere safe, permanent, hidden." She touched the screen, zooming into a small cluster of planets. "There," she said, pointing to a green and brown world with no name. "It's quiet, has water, life, and no signals, a hiding place." Cole asked. "No," Sierra said, her voice calm. "A home." He looked at her strength, her courage, her hope. And for the first time since the journey began, Cole believed it too. Maybe they could stop running. Maybe they could build something together. Not just escape, not just survive, but truly live. The new planet was warm and quiet. Thick trees covered the hills, and small rivers ran like silver veins across the land. Cole guided the freighter into a deep valley where the signal wouldn't reach space. Here, they would rest, maybe even begin again. They built a shelter using parts from the ship. The days were peaceful, hunting small animals, collecting fruit, and sleeping under unfamiliar stars. Sierra walked freely, her mechanical legs working better with each upgrade. She even added extra features: jump support, magnetic grip, even silent movement. She had changed, more confident, more alive, but something else had changed too. Something inside her. It started with her getting dizzy. Then light headaches, then moments of weakness she never had before. Cole noticed right away. "You're not okay," he said one morning as she nearly collapsed while carrying supplies. "I'm fine," she insisted, but she wasn't. That night, Sierra sat by the fire, holding her stomach. Her body felt different, like it was growing something. Not pain, not sickness, but life. She looked over at Cole, who was asleep beside the flames. Her golden eyes shimmered with emotion. The next morning, she stood silently in front of him. "I need to tell you something," she said. He looked up, confused. "What is it?" "I'm pregnant." The words hit him like a bolt of electricity. His mouth opened, but no words came. "You're what?" he said finally. "Pregnant," she repeated, softer this time. "With your child?" Cole blinked fast. "But we didn't? How?" I didn't think that was even possible." "Neither did I," she whispered, her hands resting on her belly. They sat in silence for a long time. The wind moved through the trees, birds chirped, but everything else stood still. "Are you okay with this?" she asked, voice shaky. He looked into her eyes. "I don't know what this means, but I'm not running away," he said. "Not from you, and not from our child." Sierra smiled through tears. "I was told my body was useless," she said. "They said I wasn't meant for bonding, for creating life. Then they were wrong." Cole said firmly. But joy was not alone. Fear walked beside it. What if Earth Corp finds out? Sierra asked. "They won't." Cole said. "We'll protect this child, no matter what." Over the next few weeks, Sierra's body changed. She grew weaker, but also more powerful, her senses sharper, her telepathic skills rising again. Sometimes Cole would wake to find her sitting quietly, her hand glowing with soft light. "The child is different," she told him once. "How?" he asked. "It is both of us," she said. human and Oralis. Something new. They began building a deeper shelter. One that could hide heat and sound. Cole reinforced the ship's shields and programmed a sensor field around the valley. But deep down, they both knew this couldn't last forever. One night, Syrah dreamed. In her dream, a cold metal hand reached for her belly. She screamed, but no sound came. The hand pressed against her skin. The child screamed back. She woke up sweating. Cole rushed to her side, holding her as she shook. "They're coming," she whispered. "How do you know?" "I felt them," she said. In my mind, Cole didn't doubt her. He checked the perimeter, nothing yet, but her instincts had never been wrong. 3 days later, a silent drone flew overhead. It didn't scan. Didn't attack, it only watched. Cole shot it down with a pulse rifle. But the message had already been sent. "They know," he said. Syrah looked down at her stomach, now slightly rounded. "Then we fight." Cole trained her with weapons, movement, and defense. She trained him in mental resistance, how to block basic telepathic scans. Together, they became something more than just a couple. They became a team. The nights grew colder. The stars above no longer felt distant, they felt dangerous. But Syrah's strength grew with each passing day. She wasn't broken anymore. She wasn't weak. Inside her, life was growing strong, bright, and something the galaxy had never seen before. And out there, EarthCorp was watching, waiting, preparing to strike. But Syrah had legs now. And she wasn't running. The night was cold and quiet. Too quiet. Cole stood at the edge of the clearing with his rifle in hand. The stars above him were still. But something inside him twisted with unease. They were coming. He could feel it, back in the shelter. Syrah lay on the small bed they built from scavenged ship parts. Her breathing was deep but uneven. The child inside her was growing faster than anything Cole had seen. Her golden skin now shimmered faintly in the dark, like starlight on water. He returned quietly and sat beside her. She opened her eyes slowly. "You felt them too," she said. Cole nodded. "Tomorrow," she whispered. "They will come tomorrow." "I'll stop them," he said, trying to sound stronger than he felt. Syrah touched his cheek. "You can't stop them alone." Cole didn't sleep that night. He reinforced the hidden walls, placed traps in the forest. He turned the freighter's remains into a defense station, linking its power core to a perimeter shield. He built and prepared while she rested, because her body was focused on one thing, keeping their child safe. When dawn broke, the sky changed. Black dots appeared in the clouds. Small ships with EarthCorp logos burned into the hulls. They didn't land, they hovered, silent and deadly. A voice echoed across the valley through a speaker drone. "This is EarthCorp enforcement. Surrender the Oralis specimen immediately, and no harm will come to the human." Cole raised his rifle and shouted. "You don't speak for us anymore." There was silence, then gunfire. Drones dropped from the sky like iron insects. Cole fired at the first wave, blasting 2 out of the air. Syrah stayed inside the shelter. Her eyes closed, her energy focused inward. The child inside her pulsed with light. Something powerful was growing, something not even she understood fully. Cole fell back as more drones swarmed in. He used the traps, triggered explosive charges, then hacked into a fallen drone to redirect its laser. But there were too many. He was hit in the shoulder, then the leg. Blood soaked through his shirt as he crawled back toward the shelter. Inside, Syrah sat up slowly. Her skin was glowing brighter, her eyes full of light. "You felt his peace, fear through the mental bond I had begun to form." No more hiding, she said to herself. She stood, her mechanical legs powering up with a deep hum, but something was different. As she walked, the metal seemed to shift, responding to her body's changes. The child inside her was changing her too. Making her stronger, Syrah stepped outside and saw Cole lying near the door. His breathing was shallow, his face pale. He looked up and whispered, "I couldn't stop them." She knelt beside him, her hand on his chest. "You held them back," she said. "Now let me finish it." She walked out into the open. Glowing like a flame against the cold sky, the EarthCorp soldiers paused, unsure. This wasn't the broken alien they had once captured. This was something else. Something more. Sierra raised her hand. An energy sparked from her fingers, a wave of light shot through the air. Frying drones mid-flight, the soldiers opened fire, but the bullets bent, curved, and missed. The child's energy was protecting her. She moved with speed her legs had never shown before. She leaped, landed on one of the ships, and ripped off its cannon. She didn't speak, didn't shout. She just fought silent and deadly. Like a storm of light, inside the shelter, Cole blinked through the pain. Watching her move, she was no longer just a survivor. She was a warrior. One soldier managed to get close, aiming directly at her heart. But before he could shoot, Sierra's eyes flared, and the gun exploded in his hands. The rest ran, the ships pulled back, leaving smoke and shattered tech behind. The attack had failed. Sierra returned to Cole, her legs sparking, her body trembling. She collapsed beside him, exhausted but alive. "It's over," he said weakly. "For now," she whispered, "but not forever." She placed his hand on her stomach. Their child kicked gently. "She protected me," Sierra said. Tears in her eyes, she protected us both. Cole smiled faintly. "She's going to be something special." Sierra nodded. "She already is." Above them, the sky cleared again, but they knew more would come stronger. Smarter, crueler, they were afraid now not of Sierra, but of what she had become. And she wasn't done becoming, not yet. The sun rose gently over the valley. Soft golden light touched the trees and shimmered on the river. Birds sang their quiet songs, unaware that a war had nearly begun the day before. Inside the shelter, Sierra lay beside Cole, her hand resting over her stomach. Their child was coming, not in months, not in weeks. Today, Cole struggled to sit up, still weak from the wounds. But he managed to smile. "You're glowing again," he said softly. "I think she's ready." Sierra whispered. There was no hospital, no machines, no medbots. Only Cole's hands, Sierra's courage, and the power of something new entering the world. Hours passed. The pain was sharp, but Sierra never cried. She gritted her teeth, held onto Cole, and focused her mind. And then, with a flash of warmth and light, the child was born. A girl, small, quiet, with skin that shimmered like silver fire and eyes like twin stars. She didn't cry. She simply opened her eyes and looked at them. Sierra felt tears fall down her cheeks. "She sees us," she whispered. "Really sees us." Cole held the baby in trembling hands. "I think she understands more than we do," he said. They named her Lyra, the name of a forgotten star. But Lyra was not forgotten, not for long. Days turned into weeks. Lyra grew fast, stronger and brighter each day. She began speaking at 2 weeks, forming words with ease. At 1 month, she walked on her own, no help. No hesitation, Sierra and Cole taught her everything they could. But Lyra learned faster than they could teach. She read data logs, studied ancient alien tech, and spoke with animals. But more than that, she reached out, through thought, through energy. And others answered. It began with dreams. Aliens from distant worlds saw flashes of Lyra, her birth, her smile, her glowing hands. Some believed it was prophecy, others believed it was a message. But all of them felt the same truth. Something new had entered the galaxy. Something that could end the war between species. Something that could unite minds and hearts, not just systems and ships. One day, a ship appeared in the sky above the valley. It didn't come with weapons or threats. It came in peace, carrying diplomats from 3 alien races. They bowed before Sierra and Cole. "We felt her," they said. We dreamed of her. She must not be hidden, they continued. She must be seen. At first, Cole was unsure. She's still a child, he said. Our child. Syrah looked at him gently. But she is also more than that. Lyra walked forward, calm and curious. She touched one of the diplomats on the forehead. His eyes filled with tears. She showed me peace, he said. Peace I never thought possible. From that moment on, the galaxy began to change. Lyra traveled to worlds that had never welcomed humans. She stood before leaders who had sworn never to kneel. She healed wounds that no medicine could touch. Not with power, not with fear, but with understanding. Syrah and Cole stayed close, guiding her, protecting her when they could. But Lyra didn't need protection, the galaxy did. News of her spread first as rumor, then as legend, then as fact. The child of a broken alien and a human engineer, born in hiding, raised in peace, and powerful enough to connect entire worlds through thought alone. EarthCorp tried to hide the truth. Then they tried to erase it, but it was too late. Their soldiers stopped getting orders. Their weapons stopped mattering, because now, species that once hated each other sat at the same table. Talking, listening, changing, and in the center of it all was Lyra. She returned home every season, always to the same valley. She would sit by the river with Syrah, who had grown wiser, stronger. She would help Cole build new ships. Shelters, dreams. They were still a family, even though the stars now knew her name. One night, as the wind moved through the trees, Lyra looked up at the sky. "Do you think they would have killed me before I was born?" she asked. Syrah nodded. "They didn't think I was worth saving, but you did." Lyra said to Cole, "You gave her legs. You gave her hope. You gave me life." Cole smiled and placed his hand on her shoulder. "Okay, and you gave the galaxy a reason to believe again. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, another child was born. This time, not in fear, but in hope." Because one man believed in someone, everyone else had forgotten. And that belief changed everything.